Eddie Howe was in Bournemouth's starting side the last time Jermain Defoe scored for them. Back then, in 2001, defender Howe could not believe how good a finisher Defoe, a young striker making a name for himself on loan from West Ham, was. "He's lost none of that," Howe said after watching the veteran score the match winner against Brighton, his first Bournemouth goal since a free transfer from Sunderland, and first since netting in that 3-3 draw away to Reading in Division 2 16 years ago. "He's one of the best finishers I've ever seen," Howe added. "We need to get to know as a team where he wants the ball. He's different to any striker we've had. For us it's about creating the openings for him." The pressure was mounting on both the former teammates, the manager winning no points from 4 games, and striker firing 5 blanks on his big wages of around £80,000 per week. The 34-year-old striker may not have the legs these days, but teammate Andrew Sermon made up for that with headers off the line at one end and an equalising goal at the other, after Solly March gave Brighton a surprise lead early in the second half. But what Defoe does have is a masterful finish, honed over decades, and his 160th Premier League strike against his 36th different Premier League opponent was as fine as they come. Substitute Jordan Ibe laid on both goals, and when he slipped in Defoe in the 73rd minute there was no doubt the ball would end up in the far corner. Ibe produced more in 8 minutes than he had in the whole of last season, the winger yet to live up to the potential he brought with a £15 million move from Liverpool last summer. "It was a really good cameo of what he is all about," Howe said. "He is a really talented lad. He is different to what we have got, that ability to beat people, and he has real pace. He showed real quality with his back heel, which was a moment of magic, and with the second, the weight on the pass was perfect for Jermain." Howe has developed a look of constant concern in recent weeks, perplexed not only by Bournemouth's run of defeats, but by their diabolical, troubling performances. "It's massive, to be honest," Defoe admitted of the 3 points. "It was a game that we thought we needed to win. In seasons past, Bournemouth have lost matches, but maintained a buccaneering, free-passing style. That was non-existent against West Bromwich Albion, Watford, and Arsenal, and was only present for a half, at best, against Manchester City. It only returned with 15 minutes remaining against Brighton. The situation was descending into dire proportions at the start of the second half as Bournemouth's 6-yard box descended into a game of head tennis. Pascal Gross swung in a left-hand side corner and Shane Duffy headed across goal and on target from the back post, but Sermon headed off the line. Davy Proper headed the rebound back at goal and Sermon nodded it around the post for a corner. Gross sent the ball back in, Duffy nodded on and Dale Stephens headed onto the underside of the bar, but the ball stayed out. Four minutes later Brighton made one count. Gross turned sharply on the right flank, crossed and March headed past Asmir. The game was getting desperate for Bournemouth, but a moment of quality had them level as Sermon proved as adept at putting the ball in the net as he was at keeping it out. The Bournemouth midfielder passed to Phillipe, introduced 2 minutes before the equaliser, who backheeled back into his path inside the area and he stuck dunked on his backside and levelled. When Defoe struck the winner 6 minutes later, Howe celebrated as though he was out on the pitch with him.